Morning, Sonder family. Bailey and I are so glad to welcome you this morning to your weekly setup on a Saturday morning. We actually have some rain in the Dallas, Texas area, so my plans have changed. I was going to be in the yard today, and nope. Today is going to be a chillaxing day. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy, and I'm coming to you, like I said, from the Dallas, Texas area. And Bailey and I are on this morning's call. We are so happy to see you. We're proud of you for setting this time aside to dig into your journal this week and get yourself ready. Can you believe like I said we're hitting the days in the 20s here, right? It's kind of the end of April. We're going to start wrapping this month up. I can't believe it. Maya Martin Glenn is one of the other facilitators that we get to work with, and she always puts our schedules together. And she just did a survey for June to see when we're available to work it. And I was like, wait, June, that's summer. How have we gotten there? So I'm really, really glad to see you, whether you are a quietly brooding blueberry or a losing it lemon poppy seed or a chilled out double chocolate. We are just glad that you are here and you are among friends when you join together. Make sure that your chat is set to everyone. It's just old home week. I mean, look at everybody. I see lots of familiar names. So if you may be joining us for the very first time, drop a me in the chat because we want to welcome you. And of course, a huge welcome to our regular Sonder Social attendees. And also a shout out if you are watching a recording so that you can catch up. We're proud of you for keeping that accountability. So you may be seeing this on the YouTube channel. So we're glad that you are here. And yeah, lots of Central Time Zoners are here this morning. So really quickly, before we begin, I would like you to stop for a moment and consider what you are loving right now at this very moment. I want to get some positivity going on in the chat. Tell us what you are loving. I'm going to tell you what I discovered. My daughter came over. She was my rose this week. You'll see that on our rosebud, the reflection. But she said, Mom, I want to do something with you. It's so much fun. And Netflix now, if you have a smart TV that's young enough, because one of my TVs didn't work, they have games. And she and I played Boggle together on Netflix, and we had so much fun. You sit with your phone, and so that's what I am loving. I am loving playing Boggle on the TV. So that was fun. Look at these wonderful things, quiet moments at home, your coffee, the beauty of nature. Oh, Amy, that green, there's just something about the spring green, all those little buds coming up. Let's see it. Oh, the chat is flying. Make sure that you're dropping those things in because this is positively reading. I love. Oh, Doreen's going to be in a pool for the month. I love that. Yeah, make sure we've got some hot teas and some hot coffees happening this morning. Pilates, Meredith taking good care of your body, the progress that you're making. Yeah, pat yourself on the back for that. Tulips. Oh, the special part of spring that only happens in the spring. I love that. Um, Goodness sakes, that feels good. Birds, trees. I love it. I've got my hummingbird food out and I haven't seen anything in the Dallas area. I think they forgot my house. So, and the doors and windows open. There is nothing better than I think they call it burping your house, like letting those breezes come through and get that. I love it. So yeah, keep those popping as you're thinking about that, and you might want to go jot it down on page 47 for this beginning week to remind yourself about what is good in this week. They're the community guidelines we share. I didn't see that. I don't think anybody is here for the very first time, but if you are, we always share these. So take a quick look at those guidelines. This is just a reminder about the spaces that we create with one another. And then, of course, we are more than halfway through this theme of awareness, of, that noticing that agency in our life, taking ownership. Meredith is new. Thank you, Bailey. prompted me. That chat was moving. Welcome, Meredith. We're glad you're here. We love these appointments with self. So I've kept this Gandhi quote up with my slides this month because I think it has a lot to do with awareness, your beliefs, thoughts, words, action, habits, values, and that ultimately becomes our destiny. And we had the umbrella coloring page this week that we worked on. And we talked about, I wanted to kind of invoke that image of that umbrella allows us to stand present in the midst of storms. Like, let's really think about that symbolism and what that looks like through that lens of awareness. This morning's agenda is we're going to work on our mind map. So, Meredith and anybody else who's new, that is your bonus prompt that you get when you come to these weekly setups. It's not in your journal. It is a bonus little prompt to dig a little deeper into the themes. Then we're going to do that weekly rosebud thorn reflection. And then I've got some examples for you of those the weekly spreads. We're going to be working on 46 and 47 this morning, and some examples for you to maybe try something new, or you may already have your cadence and you're going to just do what you normally do. You know exactly what you're planning to do with these pages, but you're here for the accountability and for the community. And so, we always say, take what you need when we are together. So we are working on our third week of the mind map, which can be done anywhere in your journal on a blank page. Some folks will just do each week in that weekly scratch pad that's along the side of your setup. So if you're doing that, that's on page 49 for this week. Or you take a notes page, make four spaces. We say grab a stencil. I often trace my driver's license, or you can just do a big X or a plus sign and divide that page. So we have had three. This is going to be week three. So we've had two other questions. Week one was about sensory grounding. Corey, I appreciate what you wrote about. It's pretty much blank. My journal looks really different. I have not been digging in. I've just been kind of in survival mode for the last few weeks, and that's where I am. And that's data that I get when I open up the blank spaces, or I started a tracker, but I haven't been keeping up with it. So thanks for calling that out. We all relate. We're all there. We always say, come as you are. So week one was about our sensory grounding. And there's the question if you want to grab that, if you missed it. Last week, we worked on our mind body reflection about, what stress could look like, the emotions that bubbled up, just that noticing, that awareness, and then being able to, again, express your own agency over the control you have. I'm real excited about this week, connecting with self. So you're encouraged to list some simple ways you can check in with yourself daily. Consider activities like journaling, meditation, or a quiet walk. How might these help you understand your inner thoughts and feelings to bring out more awareness? And so I am so excited about some graphics that will support this idea this evening. Or this evening. So okay, you've seen some of these tools before, some of these examples. So some simple ways. I love this idea of the feelings check-in. If this resonates with you, grab a screenshot, or you can write some of these things down. But this is a really good way to check in with yourself, thinking about I feel, and then what would my response be? And so it's sort of a little mini prompt there. Of course, we have used this example there on the bottom left many, many times. It's just designating a space in your week to do some check-ins with how do I feel and what does that tell me I need? And so I am actually going to do that in my mind body health space this week. I've got it set up. I'm trying to lean into feelings and then reflecting on what I need. And so I've got this little table there. And so I think that's going to be a really good way for me to be intentional with connecting with myself. We have the check your battery prompt there, and there are some questions that you can ask of yourself to maybe figure out what you need. And then this little graphic that's on the bottom there, that distractions list, that is actually a list that I have put in my phone for me to. It's my go-to, so I have it with me all the time. If I start feeling like I'm ramping up with my feelings, I'm getting anxious. And so I just call it my distraction list. And it's just the things that can help me reset. And it can, some of them are for home only, like dig in the dirt. I can't go dig in the dirt like at the doctor's office. That would probably be frowned upon. But I could stop for a moment and pray, or I could stop for a moment and look at the HALT method and think, am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? I could take maybe a little walk, put my toes in the grass. These are things that I came up with that help me reset when I just need that little extra reminder of how to calm myself down. And so, breath work, just maybe light a candle and then look at the flame for a minute. So I create, yeah, excuse me, Dr. Giomi, I'm going to go do a little gardening in your flower bed because I'm very anxious about being here. Anyhow, so I have like this distractions list. So you might want to start thinking about creating a distractions list, those simple ways you can check in with yourself daily. And, if you figure out, are there things that could be your go-to? And then finally, we have this prompt from this is an old Silk and Sonder Instagram graphic about just maybe put this in one of your spaces somewhere in your journal, and you turn to this and think, I feel this way, and then dig deeper because of, and I want to feel whatever. And so just writing those words, leaving it blank, can be a really great way to check in with yourself. And then you can it's very similar to I feel and I need. So as you're working on this space, and you're thinking about different ways you can connect to yourself, maybe it's something like when you grab your coffee in the morning, before you take that first sip, you do a little cycle of box breathing. And so you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Pause for 4, breathe in for 4. And maybe you decide before I drink my coffee every morning, I'm going to check in with self and do a cycle of box breathing. Think about ways you can take what you're already doing and incorporate pairing it with something that you're already done. Maybe while you make your bed in the morning, you think about some really good affirmations, mantras for the day that you could repeat as you're doing that motion. So everybody's different. I'm excited to hear some of the ways you're going to do some self check-ins this week, and maybe those activities that will accompany when certain things bubble up for you. Share in the chat.
All righty. So you may still be working on this prompt. And as we go through our morning together, feel free to add to it as things come up as we're setting up for the week. You may be like, oh, I'm going to do this because, of whatever. So feel free to continue. Oh, Pam, I need to add puzzles to my list. Yes, that's a good go-to to help my brain kind of reset and not ruminate. And I do, yeah, those daily, the New York Times. I'm gonna add that. I while we were doing this exercise, I put in the chat, I added dance because a little dance moment is a good thing for us. And I forgot, just go get a hug from my partner or again, probably should be at home before I just go get random hugs, but you never know whose day you might make if you just ask somebody if they need a hug. But that could be a good distraction list for those check-ins with self. So as continue to share what is happening for you as you consider that connection with self. And yes, they are free, and I love them. I love a good hug. I don't care if I know you or not. So now we're going to work on our rosebud thorn reflection from this past week. That's going to be found on page 44. And of course, the thorns are the things that are really causing struggles or that just didn't go well, things you may not have control over, the challenges of the week. And yet they're important to have because it's what creates resilience in ourselves. It's what helps us see that we are strong. And it also allows us to take a look at those thorns and give ourselves permission to maybe have those weak moments and just embrace them. For me, it's just this new life without my brother and navigating what my days feel like as I'm embracing grief and this absence that is just no longer part of me. And it's been my thorn. I've made it. I had one day I teared up. I've teared up every day. I've cried every day except one. I had one day this week I didn't just weep. And so it's feeling a little better. And it's showing me, I'm going to be okay, but I'm also embracing the feels that come with that. And so I'm giving myself permission to do that. And to not just buck it up, like society says, move on. And so then we look at our buds. What's coming down the pipe? What are you excited about? What's something new? I've mentioned before, I'm part of a group called Philanthropic Educational Opportunities for Women. We have a state convention. I'm the president of my chapter, which means I'm the delegate. So I'm going to go to Houston this coming week. My husband's tagging along, and I'll be in little workshops and stuff. But we're just going to leave and go and stay in a hotel. And it's a nice hotel, which we a little upgraded from what we normally do. I'm just looking forward to that. Just something completely different that will occupy me.
And then the rose, to celebrate the good things that came in your world this week. What was that? The positive, the ways you see gratitude, what lifted your spirits. And mine was just I spent all day yesterday with my daughter, and we shopped and we ate and we have a big used bookstore in Dallas called Half Price Books. It's the flagship store, the mother store, and we just spent hours there, and it was it was just so good for my soul. So, yeah, let's work on our reflections and share in the chat. And if you need some more support, or you're having some really tough thorns, let's give those power and put those in the chat so that they're in the world and they're being supported virtually by your Sonder community. And then let's celebrate those roses and buds that you are experiencing right now. I'm just going to shout out really quickly to Lisa. I love, Lisa, that your bud is being more aware of what your body needs in terms of movement or rest. So you're really embracing the theme this month and slowing down and paying attention. And I love that. I love that so much. So good for you. And y'all have some roses coming up. Feel free to continue to drop your RBTs in the chat because it really does feel good to share. I think especially those thorns, you just give like power to them when you share with others. And of course, oh, and Zoom user, tell us who you are. I I had one week where I didn't have a thorn and oh, Mary Ellen. Okay. And hi, Mary Ellen. And I remember saying, I don't have a thorn this week. And oh boy, the next week, like I had a fender bender and something in the house broke and like I ended up making up for it. And so I said, I will always find a thorn from now on. something I need to work on because I feel like I jinxed myself that week. But I love it. I love you didn't have a thorn. All righty, so let's get on to that weekly planner. Again, we're going to be on pages 46 and 47, week 17 of 2026. I have several pages just to share with you this morning, and then we'll break some of it down into smaller parts. But y'all have been so great about posting in Sonder Club. So I've grabbed several examples to share, and some of the, like, I think I have a couple that are a little bit older too. Um, but I just wanted you to take a look at what things could look like, the way folks are doing it. Both of these folks are just going to track their habits. They haven't set goals there. We've got the three major goals on the right there: sovereign identity. And though they're set up by be, have, and do. And I love it. Be an unshakable observer, neutral to others' disappointments. So just like be chilling. I love that. So intentional. Have a cool room, lowered nerve-free, consistent hydration, and then do a 2-second pause before responding to noise. And isn't that a good one for our mind map this week, right? Just a 2-second pause, like 1,000 to 1,000. I love that. And then the weekly major goals in on the example on the left have actually become the to-dos, and it's health, home, and Kevin and person. So just, took that space, used that a little bit differently. Let's look at it, some more examples. Here we go. We've got the goals divided up into work, home, and self on the left, and heal, create, and enjoy on the right. And I really love the one on the right where just the simple act of tracing out those spaces brought some color, some personalization to the page. So perhaps you'll want to do something like that. And then you can see we've got some goals set for the example there on the left. But the one on the right is just tracking. And I loved those habits and activities on the right. You can see there's morning and then a couple of afternoons and a couple of nights. The time of day is sort of being embraced for those certain things. So I thought that was kind of neat. A bingo for the to do. And we've got some more examples here. This is an older one, the be the change you want to see. I love the doodles. Those are always good for us. You can see that the weekly goals have actually been changed into a little mini bingo board. I love a good bingo board. And you don't have to have three goals. If you've got more, feel free to do that. Like the example you see over there on the right, it's just kind of a list of things that are going to be the priority mindset, an organization mindset, a fun mind, how am I going to have fun? What ways can I be healthy? Again, setting up the habit trackers with or without numbers. So let's take a look at that first space. This week, I want to feel. How do you want to feel? Here's mine. I actually am embracing some mantras, some affirmations that I will be looking at every day. I can heal. I can be courageous. I can hope. I can go on. I can find peace. And those are going to be on repeat for me this week. That's how I've set my space up. Here are a bunch of words to inspire how we want to feel. So if you can't think of something, maybe one of these words will jump out at you. You can use stickers. You can do, I want to be more of something, less of something, doing a phrase, a mantra, or an affirmation. Maybe there's a quote. Maybe you've been using the same word this month. Maybe you're using the word aware. Maybe you're using your word of the year. So drop in the chat, how do you want to feel this week? Do that self check-in. How are you feeling right now? Does that need to change? Think back to those muffins if you're feeling, a little banana nut. What word could you get to change that around? So I love that Bailey just said she's using cultivating her word of the year so that it is front and center and it's keeping her on track with what she wanted when she chose that. Karen wants to have a creative week. And then here is a little reminder of, when we thought about, okay, doing that self check in this week, there are some things that you might want to do to feel better. So if you're checking in with yourself and you're feeling a little burned out, maybe find a different word for how you want to feel, but also incorporate a way for that to happen. So this suggests walking. If you're overthinking, maybe you write. And so perhaps if you're feeling I'm overthinking things, maybe you're looking for calmness. And then you can have an actionable item with that, like writing. And then some other examples there from our wonderful Sonder family. So, all right, so we've got how we want to feel. Yep. And if you, Catherine's like, I'm not feeling so great right now. I'm going to wait. So feel free to do that. So now we're going to take that feeling into setting our goals and looking at our to-dos for the week. We always say your goals are kind of your whys. And then the to-do list can often be how that happens. The to-do lists never end, right? They just keep getting recycled and added to, but your goals might end, or you might be working on a longer term goal. All right. So I always say go check on your stop, start, and continue box. That's on page 8. It's a really good source for setting up your goals and your to-dos, as well as that intention page, what you were wanting to bring into your life, especially this month, being aware. And those can inform these spaces or your habits, your activities. Here are some great examples of both spaces, the goals and the to-dos. You can see we've got some to-dos that are bingo boxes. And I love this one on the upper left because there's some little trackers in there, 3 little boxes, 5 little boxes for those different things that they're wanting to do. The one on the upper right, notice that their to-do box has been changed to inform them about that intention page. So they're kind of holding themselves accountable for physical health, for money management, and for how they're going to have fun. So they're going back and looking at that page. And this week they're focusing on that. And then I love the question, what to do? And then again, a bingo board. You can see we love a good bingo board. Um, the one on the bottom, strong thought, got a good quote there in the to-do box. And then they have their 3 goals, self, others, and work, broken down with a couple of action items for that. And then the one on the bottom right is they've got like tied in, the to-dos are tied in with those goals. Here's mine. I was actually inspired. I snapped this. This is an account, James Moore Wellness, that I follow on Instagram, and said you need 3 daily wins. And I'm really trying to just focus on one day at a time. And so what I did is I snapped that, and I was like, I'm going to use that for my 3 major goals. It's just to have a physical win every day, a mental win every day, and a spiritual win every day. And so I just kind of put what I'm going to do. I'm going to just move, however it is. It may be stretching, it may be yoga, it may be a walk, but that's going to be my physical win. So I'm just going to celebrate simple wins in my life. I'm trying to be very gentle with myself right now. I also found this gentle to-do list for very bad days. So if things are feeling tough right now, maybe something on that space can inform your goals or your to-do list, or maybe this will show up on the next page in your mind body health plan. But it's just some essential tasks: shower, medication. How are you going to take care of yourself? Maybe clean one thing not clean the whole house, clean one thing or one space. So it's a gentle space for that to-do list. And I'll go back through these while you're working on those. So let me put on a blip of music. Let's work on these goals and to-dos and share in the chat what you are planning to do in these spaces. If you repurpose them, set them up for something, put a quote. Let us know. What do you do? All right, while you're finishing up your goals and to-dos, let's go ahead and drop down to the bottom section, those habits and activities. And remember, this is being recorded. So if there is a graphic that you saw and you weren't able to grab or something, you can go back. You'll be able to watch it on the YouTube channel. This is from our wonderful Silk and Sonder Instagram account. I always recommend following that if you're not already doing that. But these are some small but mighty habits to do more of. You're already doing one of them, plan your days. You're here this morning, but these are some fun things that you could incorporate in your goals and habits. Create a themed playlist or read daily, schedule in breaks. Sometimes we just forget to do things like that. Step outside. Maybe that's something that you'll be tracking. Um, get some daily movement in. Here are some great examples. I've got this graphic again so that you can see, see it while we're looking at this. You can see how folks set this up. Now, this is that area where you can set goals or you can just track. Remember, these trackers are not there for shame, to like, oh, I didn't do XYZ. This is just data. It's showing you what your week brought you. So maybe you intend to do something and then you sit at the end of the week and go, I only did that one time. Yeah, celebrate that. You did it. It's data, it's neutral. So don't give it too much power. Don't feel bad if you didn't get something done. It means that your life shifted in some way. It's giving you some feedback, as to what your life brought you this week. Here are some more. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my habit tracker. And I was informed by this self-care daily check-in. Again, I shared, I'm just trying to be super gentle with myself and give myself the space I need right now because I just don't want to. I'm usually a very productive list maker and I love to scratch those things off. And now I know that I need to take better care of just loving myself in a very gentle way. And so I'm trying to set myself up for that. So this graphic informed my habits and activities for the week. So every day I want to just have like moment to breathe intentionally and not to get so busy. Just settle myself. I want to check in with how am I feeling and feel it. I want to give thanks for what I'm grateful for, and specifically for my brother Greg. And I'm using my gratitude jar and I'm writing memories as they have popped up for me, and just giving thanks for that crazy boy that was my brother. And it's been really good because I don't want to forget those funny stories either. And then, what do I need today? And then how can I affirm myself? And then you saw that in my, as I filled out my, uh, blah, 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 mind body health plan. Sorry about that. So, doing that. So that's informing that space for me this week. And yeah, let's work on your goals and habits, or I'm sorry, your habits and activities, and share what's going here for you. It's often very common to just bring them right on over from last week because habits take a while to get established. But I want you to pause and make sure that that habit is serving what you need from the week. Don't just put it down because it's what you think ought to go there. Really reflect on what you need for the week. I always love That little peppy song from La La Land. It's a good one to clean the house to. If you make a house cleaning playlist, some stuff that'll make you move. All righty. So now we're going to pop over to the second part of our setup today. And because we're kind of deep into the month and most of you have already, you know about all these spaces, I'm just going to show you some examples. We'll go through this pretty quickly, put on some music and go back through the examples. So if you change anything up, you'll be able to see that again. But this page is the one that gets repurposed the most often. You are always invited to use the meal plan, the Mind Body Health plan, the shopping list as they are. But we do tend to repurpose this space. So the examples I'm going to show you today, really any of these could go in any of these spaces. So maybe you want to save your meal plan to write your affirmations out for the week, and then you put your meal plan over on the shopping list. So you can kind of, and it's very interchangeable. So here's some great examples. Both of these pages are using it for their meals in different ways. Someone is just tracking lunch and dinner. Someone else has BLD, so breakfast, lunch, dinner. I love the Mind Body Health Plan for the one over there on the right. It's just this fun sticker. Now it's the time to thrive. That good reminder. The one on the left, do what feels good today. The one on the left is using the shopping list as the shopping list. And let's look at a couple more. Hold on. Here we go. We've got daily affirmations and the meal plan. And then the one on the right is actually looking, I love this, daily dimmer and glimmer. So it's almost like that thorn and that rose reflection on a daily basis. I kind of liked this was the dimmer, but here's the glimmer to counter that. So that balance. So that's kind of a fun take on that. And you could write those into your Mind Body Health Plan or put that in your shopping list. You can see that the one on the left, they're using their shopping list. They have a key and they've coded the things that they're going to do this week. So that these codes were found in other ways. So, like to go to a Sonder Social, there's an SS. To do squats and push-ups, SP. So they're tracking those things with with the initials. They're using their I am loving boxes, actually their daily chore check-in. So they're writing it down, giving power to paper. I thought that was a great repurpose. And the one over there on the right is using their Mind Body Health Plan for what I read. So following, making sure they're holding themselves accountable to that. We've got daily time in the Word. For those of you who do like a daily scripture, you can see how the one on the left has set that up. Got these gorgeous stickers for informing the rest of the page. You don't have to fill out and use all those spaces. The best use might be an inspirational sticker that's going to be that good reminder that you need. You can see the one over on the right's got some mini trackers in the Mind Body Health Plan. Again, talking about that fun bingo, and then setting priorities by using that good space, those meal plans there. And then I just have some fun graphics that could be incorporated in any of these spaces. So maybe you need to be reminded how to let go of stress. Again, going back to our mind map this week. I mean, what does it look like if you write down unclench your jaw? I find myself clenching so often and I don't realize I'm doing that. Or just taking a moment and stretching your arms overhead. I think one of our daily rituals last month, Meha had us stand like a starfish, and you just stand and have all that power with your arms and legs spread. There's ways to fill your own glass this week. Maybe that informs your Mind Body Health Plan. Some good reminders about rest and how important and critical it is. And it's not just the physical rest, which you see on the top of that graphic, which is that good sleep, but there are other ways you can rest the different parts of who you are. And I love this reminder because rest was frowned upon in my family of origin. It says, your nervous system doesn't care if you don't have time to rest, it will shut down for you. And I certainly have noticed that. If you grew up being praised for being low maintenance, you might struggle to ask for help. So if rest makes you feel guilty, ask yourself who benefits from your exhaustion. Isn't that an inspiring question? Who benefits from me being exhausted? And we know the answer is no one. I'm grumpy. I don't feel well. The people around me don't want to be with me. So rest is important. Give yourself that permission. Yeah, you had to be go, go, go all the time. My stepdad used to come in on Saturdays and pull the sheets off and say, time to get up, and never allowed us to rest our weary teenage bodies. I never did that to my kids. If they needed to sleep, they needed to sleep. So think about who benefits from you being exhausted, right? Some fun energy givers and some fun habits all around springtime. Maybe these need to show up somewhere for you. Make a bingo board, challenge yourself to do some fun, beautiful things. We're gonna lose our spring before we know it. Now, this is from our Instagram and Facebook account. This was the April 30 Days of Awareness. And this week, if you've been following along, is the week of alignment, and we have some tasks here. Now, this calendar is a Sunday through Saturday calendar, but I just took it, and this week I'm putting it in my meal plan, and I'm going to be working through those prompts that are in that 30-day of awareness. This will be a way, again, for me to check in with myself and be very intentional. So perhaps that's something that speaks to you for this space. Some April calendars just to fill in, inspire some ideas for any of these spaces. You might do a hybrid of all of these things and pick and pull as you are inspired. A couple of more. We got a bookish bucket list and then a spring bucket list. So come on, y'all, go buy some bubbles this week and blow bubbles. How can you be unhappy if you blow bubbles just for you? So I'm going to put on music so you can take a look at all these slides again. If you saw something you like, grab a screenshot. And again, that reminder, you'll be able to go watch the YouTube. I know we don't always get this done in this hour, but we do get a lot of ideas so that we can finish up in a little bit. I'm going to put on some music, go through these slides, and then we will close with a couple of announcements. cannot tell you how nice it is to start the weekend and start the day with y'all. If you can stay, I have a fun, exit song today that I think will put a spring in your step. Again, I needed it, so you're getting it. We'd love to see your setup in a Sonder Club. So post a section or a whole page, and let us know. I am going to be doing the spring clean reset this coming week on the 21st. Would love to see you at that exclusive. We're going to be looking at clutter, and it's the clutter in our heads and the clutter in our spaces, and just kind of talking about and supporting each other. And I've got some really neat things to share with you, some exercises to help us maybe not feel so badly about what's going on in our cluttered world. And then, of course, we always shout out to our personalized life coaching. And Bailey is going to is sharing a lot of links there. The Sonder Coach, there is a little test drive. If you haven't done that before, Bailey dropped that link up there. It's a free little mini test drive of Sonder Coach. So you might want to do that. And then there's our playlist for the day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I want to play my little fun song. Y'all have an amazing day. Thank you for being here, for hanging with me, for hanging with Bailey, for just having our time of community. Yeah, feel like lots of love and light this week.
Affirmations are positive statements that help us to challenge and overcome when you're not feeling good and have negative thoughts. So repeat after me. Come on, everyone. There is no one better to be than myself.
There is no one better to be than myself.
Today is gonna be an amazing day.
Today is gonna be an amazing day.
My feelings matter.
My feelings matter.
I get better every single day.
I get better every single day.
I choose to feel happy.
I choose to feel happy.
My family loves me so much.
My family loves me so much.
I care about others.
I care about others.
I learn from my mistakes.
I learn from my mistakes.
Affirmations are fun and cool. They help us heal and they help us grow. If you love to learn and want to keep feeling good, let's say some more. Follow me, let's go. I am responsible.
I am responsible.
I get better every single day.
I get better every single day.
I'm surrounded by love.
I'm surrounded by love.
Every problem has an answer.
Every problem has an answer.
I deserve to feel good.
I deserve to feel good.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
I control my own happiness.
I control my own happiness.
Now we know some new affirmations that we can choose and learn to say. So next time you need a little inspiration to help you have more of a positive day. Affirmations. Affirmations.